I am pretty upset. I thought I'll just make a blog on this. I just had to go home from the bus stop with all my groceries. You'll notice it was very hot and uncomfortable. And the whole time I was just so angry at my birth mother. People told her, "You're hurting the baby," because she was drinking so heavily every day. She didn't care. I was born. She neglected me severely. Um, and then they noticed I wasn't making my milestones. I don't know whether it was my parents or the pediatrician, but they referred me to specialists, and they did an exam, and they said your daughter has a developmental delay. And my mother took off. And she came back, and she neglected me more. And eventually, it was bad enough that she lost custody of me in the 70s when they never took the baby from the mother. So you can imagine what that was like. But people don't realize this is lifelong damage. I have only ever worked entry-level jobs that treated me like crap. I have encountered and married a guy who was not respectful. He was very controlling. He was abusive. And I felt like I couldn't get out because I, was disabled, and, he made sure to isolate me. Why, hello, sweetheart. You would never break my heart. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. But, and that happens to a lot of women with fetal alcohol syndrome. We end up in bad relationships because predators can sniff us out. And I've had so many problems with just like organizing things, planning things, scheduling things. It's just, once I figure it out, I'm okay. I do pretty well, I think. But it's just figuring it out. It is really hard for me. Like getting my buggy loaded at the grocery store. I knew the heavy things had to go in the bottom, but, it took me like, I think half an hour to just figure out how to get it strapped. And then the nice lady, it was a grocery store where they rent out little spaces at the front, and I was off to the side of one of the spaces, and when I finished, I felt like I kind of owed her, so I went in and I gave her back, one of my gospel packets in Spanish, because I could tell she was a Spanish speaker. And I said, I'm sorry about, taking, this is here's the tax. And she laughed, and, she was looking at it, and she came out a minute later, and she said, "Do you need a ride?" And, stupid, proud me said no, but I should have taken it, because that was not fun. 2 weeks of candy, 2 weeks of groceries, and these little container things, that I use for my meal prep. I needed more, so I got like 5 packages of them, and each package has 4 containers. I figured that'll hold me for a while, but that was just very unpleasant. I have no idea how the eggs turned out. I was kind of slamming them around a little. I inadvertently. The candle's okay. I got a candle for somebody, but but it's just, when she drank like that, she put me on the bus for life. She sentenced me to a more difficult life than I might normally have otherwise had. God uses everything for good. He makes beauty for ashes. I have this wonderful, handsome black cat, and Spotty and Cleo. There are people in my life who genuinely love me, respect me, value me. I have people I could call in the middle of the night if I needed help. That's a blessing, because I haven't always been able to say that. And I'm very, very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for Metro Bus System, the wonderful drivers I have on Metro Bus, the fact that I'm was God made it, how do I say this? When we bought the house, when we were looking at houses, God made sure we fell in love, basically, with the house that was on the bus line, a very good bus line that runs like 4 a.m. to 1 a.m. And God does take care of me, but this is lifelong, people. It doesn't go away. You don't grow out of it. There's not an operation or a splint or a pill you can take that makes it go away. My brain is messed up for life, because she couldn't put the bottle down. Please, 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 please do not drink when you're pregnant.